Hello there everyone, am I audible? Am I audible guys? Hi everyone, hi. So the match is going to start in a while. Let me set things up. So let's look at the polls. So 54% of you guys are saying that GPT 5.4 should be white. So let's do that. I think I'll have to change it over here. I'll set GPT 5.4 to play as white. Yeah, okay. So everything looks good. Let's get it started then. Let's start the game. Let me set up the logos. Yeah, so it should work, I guess. Wait. Okay, so let's set this up again. It should work. Let's see. Yes, I think it's working now. OpenAI plays knight to f3. So the first few moves are going to be very fast, I guess. It's not going to take much time. Okay, so we can end this poll and start a new poll. The poll is going to be who will win. Let's see what you guys say. Okay, everyone, I've started a new poll where you can tell who wins according to you. As you can see, GPT 5.4 is taking its time. And we have a move. It moved from D2 to D4. As you can see, Gemini is actually very quick and OpenAI takes its time. GPT 5.4. It takes more time to think because it is an extra high setting. We have high setting for Gemini 3.1 Pro as well, but what I've seen is it takes very less time. Okay, we have 5 votes and 80% of you guys are saying that GPT 5.4 is going to win. Let's see. Okay, so GPT 5.4 moved another pawn. I think Gemini 3 Pro going to lose. The tool calling is really bad, so it's going to be loop thinking. We'll have to see. We'll know. Frankly speaking, I have no idea who is going to win. I mean, in previous matches, we did have an idea, who could win. But in this particular match, I have no idea who is going to win. Because both are very capable models. No, I don't prompt any legal moves. Yeah, that it is a nice thing to do that you list all the legal moves and share with the models, but I don't do that. Just because we could keep it raw, how humans play it, they are not given a list of legal moves. The models know how chess has been played and they have the current board state, so they should know how to play instead of making you know errors. And if they make any errors, it's actually an information for us that they are hallucinating or not able to understand the board. So that is the reason I have removed legal moves. You can see error counters just below their icons, respective white and black. So if they make any illegal move, then that counter goes up. So when the match is happening, you can also track whether anyone is making a illegal move or not. Currently, both are not making any illegal moves yet. So meanwhile, when GPT 5.4 is thinking, let's actually try to understand what's happening over here, what the models are thinking. You can see the thought bubbles right beside each of their icons. For Google, it is here, and for OpenAI, it is here. So Gemini is saying that if it plays e6, then it is anticipating that knight will move to c3. So OpenAI will play this move according to Gemini, and then it will move bishop to e7. So okay, this one, bishop to e7, it will do this move. After that, it is thinking that OpenAI will play bishop to g5, and after that it is planning on castling. Okay, so as Gemini anticipated, let me start the recording. So as Gemini anticipated, as you can see, knight c3 is an expected move from OpenAI, and that is what was done. OpenAI played the move that Gemini 3.1 anticipated it would play, and exactly that happened. So 70% of you guys are saying that GPT 5.4 is going to win. Wait, I should have started Opus 4. I should have said Gemini 3.1 Pro, right? This is the wrong poll. Wait, let me correct it. GPT 5.4, Gemini 3.1 Pro. This should be right. Okay, I've corrected the poll, guys. So let's see what's happening over here. So Gemini is saying that bishop to e7. Then it is thinking that bishop will be moved to g5. So it is thinking that this move will be played by OpenAI. Once this move is made, it is planning for a castling. So Gemini is looking for castling. Let me do that again. So yes, if bishop moves to g5, then Gemini will do the castling. So that is what it's thinking. Other than that, if OpenAI does an e3 move, then it will move its knight to b to d7. Okay, I think this knight over here, I guess. Or could be this knight to here. Or if bishop to f4, then it will do the castling. So in two situations, it's saying that it is going to castle. Did you try GPT 5.4 and Codex 5.3 encoding? I mean, since morning I have been using GPT 5.4. I don't know much about. I mean, I have tried Codex and I have seen some bugs with it, but ever since I'm using 5.4, which means since morning, it depends where you are. So according to my place, since morning I have been using GPT 5.4, and so I was using it since morning and I didn't face any issues. And lot of it was, fixing this application chess bench, adding some features and stuff like that. It was able to do it in one shot. Or if it had any issues, I was able to fix it. So it is a good model according to me. GPT-5, GPT crashed. Actually, it takes a lot of time. So the last request was at 2:14. So it has been 5 minutes. We still have time, guys. Gemini should win. Yeah, could be. So these are the thought process. You can see Gemini is clearly looking for castling. Let's see what OpenAI is thinking. So it says if knight to c3. Okay, the move was made. Give me a minute, guys. Yeah, we are back. So as talked, as we saw, OpenAI is taking moves that Gemini already predicted it will take. So as you can see, it played bishop to g5, after which it did a castling. Now Gemini is thinking that OpenAI will play e3. OpenAI will play e3. If OpenAI plays e3, then it will play h6. Then bishop to h4. Where is that? Okay, so what it's thinking is OpenAI will play this move e2 to e3, which is a general move. After that, Gemini will actually attack this bishop over here. When this attack happens, then it will retreat, and this is the plan. This is what Gemini is thinking will happen. Another thing what it's thinking is if c takes d5. Where is d5? Okay, this capture. So if white actually captures this pawn, then e takes d5. So this capture. These are the two things that Gemini is thinking is going to happen. Either OpenAI will play e2 to e3, after which Gemini will play h7 to h6, and this bishop will be in danger, so it will go back to h4. And this is what Gemini has thought up to this extent. Or else this capture will happen, this pawn will capture this black pawn, and there will be another capture over here. So these are the two things that Gemini is thinking is going to happen. I think it's been half an hour. Okay, as you can see, it is exactly playing the moves that Gemini is predicting. Bro, read chat please for interaction. Sure, sure, sure. Actually, I have to cover this as well, right? So, as you can see, Gemini anticipated a move e2 to e3, and that is what happened. And then it played the move h7 to h6. This is what it was planning, and exactly that happened. Now, I think we'll see a move from g5 to h4. It is very hard to read OpenAI's move because Gemini is very fast. Let's see, it is going to take some time, so we'll have some time to read both of them. I am reading the chat, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, so let's see what they are thinking now. So it is saying that since it has played the move h7 to h6, now bishop is going to back up and go to h4, after which it is going to play b6, this move. It is going to play this move, and after that c takes d5 will happen, and knight will take d5. So this is the plan. It will it So this bishop will go back, then this pawn will be brought forward, and then after that white will capture this and knight will capture this. So this is what Gemini is thinking. If not this, and directly we see this where bishop takes f6. Okay, so there is one option. The knight can be captured. If bishop is taken, then bishop takes f6. Okay, so this will happen and c will take d5. Okay, so one more thing that's going to happen according to Gemini is this bishop will take this knight and this bishop will take this knight, the white's knight, and after that white will play this move. So these are the two things in Gemini's mind. Let's see what OpenAI is thinking. We have some time, so it played the move e3 and it anticipated a move h6 exactly, and Gemini played that move as well. So both are able to predict each other's moves. The reason is very simple. The game has just started and it's actually pretty easy to anticipate. So let's see. h6. h6 is the move that it was played. After that, bishop, bishop to h4. Where is bishop? Okay, yes. It is planning. So I think OpenAI will move its bishop to h4. That is the next move that is going to happen. And it is very obvious, but still it's taking time. If bishop to h4, then b6. Then b6. Then it will bring its rook to c1. Okay. Rook to c1. So this is the plan. So it is so OpenAI is thinking that Gemini will play the move h6 and that's the move that was played. After that, it is most likely going to play this move, guys. It is going to move bishop to h4 and after that Gemini is going to play b6 according to OpenAI, and after that it will bring its rook to c1. Another thing that can happen according to OpenAI is if knight is moved to d7. Knight is moved to d7, then rook to c1. Okay, so I think OpenAI wants to move its rook to c1. It is most likely now going to move its bishop to h4. After that, it is planning to bring rook to c1. Guys, don't. Okay, so the move was played. GPT 5.4 took a back step. Bishop to h4 as anticipated. That is what happened. Now I think we'll see a move from b7 to b6. Okay, as anticipated, it has taken the move b7 to b6. Okay, now 62% of you guys are saying that Gemini 3.1 Pro is going to win. You guys are very confident with Gemini 3.1 Pro. Let's see. Gemini 3.1 Pro is taking very less time to think. Let's see what's the plan now. So Gemini is saying if c takes d5, then knight takes d5. Then bishop to e7. Okay, this move is going to happen. Bishop will take e7, then queen takes e7. Then knight takes d5. Then knight will take d5. E will take d5. So this is what Gemini is thinking, guys. If this move is played, let me unpause it here. If c4 is going to df and taking the pawn, then knight will take here, and then bishop will take the black bishop, queen will take the bishop, and then this knight will take d5. So this is what Gemini is thinking is going to happen. Let's see what OpenAI is thinking. When I ran games for EIHS leaderboard on default settings, guys, is the stream lagging? Can you tell me if that's the case? At least Gemini got some moves, yes. Gemini is predicting a lot of moves, and even OpenAI is doing its work. These are some initial moves. Once some time has elapsed, I mean, we are one more half an hour into the game. I think then we'll start to see something happening. The eval down there also is very close to just being dead even for both. Let's see what OpenAI is thinking. So GPT 5.4 says bishop to h4. So it played this move, if bishop to h4, and after that it is thinking that knight will come to e4. Knight to e4. So it is thinking that knight will come to e4. If knight comes to e4, then bishop will take e7. Then queen will take e7. And then rook to c1. So I think, guys, it is looking for bringing rook to c1. This is what it is planning to do. OpenAI is looking away. OpenAI is looking for a way to bring its rook to c1. I don't know for what reason. Okay, it takes. So I think now a series should have start. Now this will take this. E6 will take d5, I guess, most probably, or queen will take. But that's not going to happen because this knight is over here. Okay, knight captured. So now most probably this bishop is going to take this, and then let me see what is there in the thinking. Bishop takes e7. Bishop takes e7, then queen takes e7. Knight takes d5 and e takes d5. So this is what is Gemini thinking. Guys, now there should be no lag. Now there should be no lag, guys. Can you tell me if that's the case? Now there should not be any lag. I hope now there is no lag. So I think the next likely move is going to be bishop taking, and yeah, that's what happened. No. So if bishop takes e7, then queen will take this, and this knight will take this knight, and e6 to e5 will happen. So this is the series that Gemini is thinking of. Now the lag should go, I guess. Again lagging. Okay. Don't worry, I'll try to fix it. Now is there a lag, guys? Because it was saying encoding overloaded here, but now it's not saying that. No lag now. Nice. Let's see what GPT 5.4 is thinking. So it says if C takes D5. That is what happened. Knight takes D5. Then bishop B to E7. Bishop to E7. E7. Okay, this capture. So most likely this is what going to happen. Bishop is going to take this bishop and queen is going to take this bishop over here, and I think the knight will take the knight. That is what is going to happen. And there you go. The move was made. I hope there is no lag now. So now let's see what they are planning to do. I mean, playing any brain rot, I don't have any idea now. So let's see. Queen takes C7. Then knight takes D5. Then E takes D5. So what it's planning, what it's thinking now is, if knight will take this knight, then the pawn will take d5. This is what it's thinking. And same is true with OpenAI as well. It is thinking of this same move over here. The new MacBook Neo seems to be good, but I'm not. I just saw the ad and it was, I think, cheap. I have seen that if you take any Mac, then you may find some issues with running AI and ML, machine learning models, because I think the PyTorch and Tensor, they are actually very difficult to run on Mac. I'm running Mac, right, so it is kind of difficult for me sometimes. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card and within inside your laptop, then for AI and ML you are not restricted. So there is that. Give me a minute, guys. So I have to, yes, do this, and okay, we are back. No lagging now. Nice. Actually, I was doing the recording as with the, when the match is going on, there is a live stream happening. I was also doing a recording side by side so that I could use it later, but you guys are saying it's lagging, so I stopped it. Now I'll use this live stream itself. As you can see, OpenAI models take a lot of time to think. Even I was coding since morning, and that's the case. They take a lot of time to think. Sometimes it's good. They are very cautious before making any kind of edits. But sometimes it's very, very boring. Yeah, as anticipated, c3 to d5. This was the move that was, I think, anticipated by Gemini itself. So what it's going to do? So it captured with a pawn. So I think it was a knight trade. Both lost their knights and they were quite okay with it. So what is now Gemini thinking? So e takes d5, then rook to c1. Okay, so there is something going on, guys, that these models know about chess that I don't know, because even Gemini is saying that OpenAI is most likely going to move rook to c1. Then it will move its bishop to b7. Here. Then OpenAI will move its bishop to d3. If bishop comes to d3, then Gemini will take move to c5. So this is what it's thinking. Let's see what OpenAI is thinking. If Knight is on d5, e takes d5. That is what happened. Then it is going to move its rook to c1, then bishop to e6. Then it's thinking that Gemini will move its bishop to e6, then it will move its queen to a4 here. Okay, it may actually plan for an attack. Queen to a4. If that not the case and it actually moves pawn to c5, then d will take c5. So this is what both are thinking. Let's look at the poll. What you guys are thinking, who is going to win? So 35 votes and 63% of you guys are saying Gemini 3.1 Pro is going to win. Okay. The poll seems to be one-sided. So up until now, both are actually very close at predicting each other's move. I felt that 5.4 is a mix of 5.2 and 5.3 codecs. Rook c1 most probable. Yeah, that I think that is what going to happen. Because both are actually saying that. Here have a look at it. Here it says rook to c1 and even here as well. OpenAI is also saying rook to c1. So that is what most likely going to happen. But that's the thing. When the move is very much understood that you are going to take that move, why is OpenAI taking so much time to play? And very obvious moves as well. It takes a lot of time. GPT should start castling or it's going to be a hard time. Yeah, but in its thinking, I don't see it's thinking about castling at all. We'll have to see if 2 3 moves in the end. We'll have to see if it actually does castling. The thinking traces of both models, we don't see castling yet. Gemini 3.1 Pro has castled. Let me see how much time has gone. 2:51, right? Okay. It's been just 5 minutes, guys, so long way to go. Maybe a 2-3 minutes more before we see a move from OpenAI. Meanwhile, I also need to see the credits. GPT is thinking of illegal moves. So if it does an illegal move, we'll actually know it, but we'll have to see. Because you set to X high. Actually, I tried high as well morning. Just I was testing GPT 5.4 with Gemini 3.1 flashlight, and I think it was using the high thinking mode. Even then, it was taking a lot of time. OpenAI may not last long enough. If OpenAI is going to, if OpenAI, okay, Rook to C1. The move was made. Rook to C1. Yes, that is what was expected. So what is now OpenAI thinking? If Rook to C1, then Queen to B4 plus. So I think that is going to be a check, I guess. There will be a check. Then Queen will move to D2. Then Queen takes D2 plus D2, and then Knight takes D2. So this is what they are thinking. So it is thinking that Gemini will bring its queen right over here to give a check, and then it will I mean, okay, that is not what Gemini did. It could have seen this and it made this move. C8 to B7. I wish OpenAI doesn't go out of business, because many people kind of think OpenAI as the face of AI. If they go out of business, then a lot of funding that's coming into the industry may actually decrease. I mean, yeah, Anthropic will be still growing, but it will be a very big, it can be a setback. And we need competition, right? Gemini and Anthropic are kind of not very competitive with each other, whereas OpenAI and Gemini and OpenAI and Anthropic are very much competitive. I mean, you might have seen all the information that is circling in the web. So let's see what Gemini is thinking. If it takes bishop to b7, then it is thinking that bishop will bring to d3. Then it will play the move c5. Then it is anticipating a castling. Okay. So it is thinking that OpenAI will do castling now. It will bring its bishop to d3, and then it will bring c5, and it is thinking that OpenAI will go for castling. Let's see if that is what OpenAI is thinking. So in its thinking tokens, or in its plan itself, we don't see any kind of castling idea, whereas Gemini is thinking that OpenAI may castle. Give me a minute, guys. I'll be back. Reasoning effort, which is none for this model. Average move takes 2.7 across all recording games. Yeah, actually, when you put reasoning effort to none or minimal or low, then the time is very less. Yes, I have to admit that. In fact, I was coding morning with GPT 5.4 just few hours back. I had it in extra high setting. I was using it in Codex app, and I had it in extra high settings. So its default was it was taking a lot of time, but for some responses, maybe for very easy questions, any very easy doubts, the response was almost instant. I mean, it was like it was not a thinking model. It felt like that. That happened very less for very less situations, but it was very instant. Okay, so the win rate for Gemini is decreasing. Now the board is looking a bit emptier now. Both have lost one knight. And one bishop as well. Okay, I was just going to say that we may get a response anytime soon with GPT 5.4. Okay, so now it is looking for castling. Gemini is very good at anticipating the moves, guys. As you can see, it said bishop to b7, bishop to d3, and then after that c5, then a castling. So I think most likely Gemini is going to take a move from c7 to c5. That is what it's going to play, and then we are going to see a castling from GPT 5.4. So I mean, Gemini is predicting the moves that GPT 5.4 is going to play even better than itself. We saw in the previous thinking, GPT 5.4 didn't have any idea of, castling or anything. These double zeros, this is castling. As you can see, this double O's. This was not there previously. But in Gemini's previous thinking, you can see it was there. It anticipated that, yes, GPT 5.4 is going to do the castle. So it is predicting its move even better than what GPT 5.4 could do for itself. Yeah, privacy is a concern, guys. Privacy is a concern, and they have stated very clearly that they may are training on ChatGPT Go and free tier users. So if you are in free tier and also if you are on Go tier as well, then your data might be used for training. I think using local models and having your own inference, or using open source models could be the answer to the privacy issue. So we are going to most likely see a move. This move, we are going to see c7 to c5, and then after that a castling. That is most likely what is going to happen. And that is what happened. Gemini also thought for a while, guys. And I think that's very nice. In the very beginning, when the match was starting, it was not taking much time, and that is the thing to do. That is how real chess players play. The few moves in the beginning are very fast. Now, Gemini 3.5, 3.1 Pro is taking its time because now it matters. So, everything that I'm saying, it might sound like I'm towards Gemini 3.1 Pro, but really, I don't have any idea who is going to win, especially for this match. Previously, the last time we did matches, I think OpenAI's O3 model was beating everything. So this time around, who is going to be better? I can't say for sure. So OpenAI is saying D to C5. D takes C5. This one. So it is going to play this move. D takes C5. Then B takes C5, and then it's a castle. Okay. So it is, I think, now going to play this move from D4 to C5. And then it is thinking that Gemini will play b6 to c5, and then it is going to do a castle. Anyways, castle is eminent. Both are saying that Gemini GPT 5.4 is going to do castling. Hey there. So it's just been 3 minutes, guys. OpenAI, you can expect it will take up approximately 7 to 9 minutes. 7 minutes, 8 minutes, or 9 minutes, something like that to respond. So it's been just 3 minutes. We'll need 4 to 5 minutes more. It will think, even for obvious moves. You can have the stream going and do your own work as well. When a movie is played, I think there is some sound that gets played, or I'll say that, right? So you'll know. Fast mode. I think fast mode is not, I mean, it's there for. Okay, we do see a move. D takes C5. Fast mode is there in codex, I guess. Is it there for GPT 5.4 in the API? I don't know. Now we most likely should see castling. My situation is quite different actually. I've seen Gemini is I think according to me very smart. Its intelligence is actually, it feels intelligent when you talk to it, when you see its responses. Even in my testing as well, you saw that it is able to come up with better algorithms. The video that I latest uploaded, you know, it is very good at all of that, but it is very jagged, as Demis Hassabis says. It does have that jagged intelligence. Sometimes it's absolutely the best. Sometimes it does errors that you would see and say, how could it make such kind of an error? That is very, I mean, I think that is what hallucination means. But that happens a lot with Gemini 3.1 Pro. I think GPT 5.4 is GPT 5.4 and Opus 4.6. GPT 5.4 and Opus 4.6 are on the other side, they are very stable. Yeah, the context window when it increases, we know that the performance drops with these models. It's been 3 minutes. It will take much more time. Let's see what it's planning to do after castling. Once it does the castling. After the castling, it is saying that Gemini will play c4. So it will move its pawn to c4 and then bishop to b1. Here, bishop to b1. Gemini is saying that there will be castling. Once castling happens, then it will bring its knight to d7. How is it going to bring its knight to d7? Okay, okay, yeah. It is right. Claude to me now feels more personal, intelligent. Yeah, I like the personality, guys. I was using it in GenSpark, and regardless of that, the personality of Opus 4.6, it actually feels like you're talking to someone. Okay, so knight to d7. Instead of bishop to b5. Bishop to b5, then c6. Okay. So if actually OpenAI brings its bishop to b5, then Gemini is actually going to bring its knight to c6, kind of offering its knight to bishop, because after that it can actually take with its black bishop. Yeah, when it comes to robotics and hardware and compute, we are limited. Okay, we do see the castling as expected. So Gemini seems to be very good at predicting. Let's see what OpenAI is saying. After castling, if c4, if this move is taken, then bishop to b1, then knight to d7. Then if knight to d7, if it does knight to d7 initially, then bishop to b1. If knight to c6, then bishop to b1. So bishop to b1 is the move that OpenAI wants to play. It is very evident that is the next move it is going to play anyways. By the way, guys, if you actually see, if bishop goes to b1 and then we have queen to d3, and from d3 it goes to, directly h7, then it is a checkmate, I guess. Isn't it? What do you guys think? The models are really taking a significant improvement since last time. It's a mate. Yeah, I think if if bishop goes to b1, and after that with the queen goes to h7, then it is a mate. But Gemini won't allow. I hope it doesn't. I should note this. It is actually, let me note this. Let's see if it's actually a mate. So bishop to b1. Let's move any another pawn, and queen to d3. Then move another pawn. Then we move the queen to h7, and then it is a checkmate. Yes. If that happens, then it's a checkmate. But will Gemini allow it? Is Gemini able to see that? Okay, I think it is able to see that. It is saying that if bishop to b1, then rook f to c8. It will bring its rook over here. Yeah, if you move the rook, then king gets the space it needs. Yeah, I'm reading your comments. Yeah, the position is dead even in the eval. Even I am seeing down here, it's dead even. The competition is very interesting, guys, as we are talking about the best over here. So I think Gemini 3.1 Pro sees this move. It is saying if you can see here, it says if bishop to b1, then it will move its rook to c8. Clearly, we can see GPT 5.4 is looking for a way to actually do a checkmate. That's the reason it's moving bishop to b1. Whereas we don't see anything like that from Gemini now. It is still defensive. G6, move the pawn to G6, yeah. Or maybe move the pawn from f7 to f6. By the way, guys, like the stream. Don't forget that. So most likely we are going to see bishop moving to b1 and then rook moving to c8. That's what going to happen. Why today too much advertisement? I don't know. Let's see how much time is left. We can do an estimate, guys. It is going to take around approx 9 minutes. So 3:23, right? It is now 3:31. 8 minutes. So we should be seeing a move anytime now. We should be seeing a move. Let's see if GPT 5.4 is actually thinking what we are thinking. So it says that after castling, if c4, then it will move its bishop to b1. The knight will come to d7. Knight is already in d7. I think we already discussed that. Opus as commentator would be fire. Maybe we can try that, but that fire is going to be in my bank balance. I sound like cookies. Let me see if there is actually any error happening. He should do a stream of Queen 3 Max thinking versus Grog 4. Yeah, that is going to go very long. Opus 4.6 versus this match winner. Yeah, that could be done, but 4.6 is very costly. Okay, it took a different move. It took a different move, guys. It took a different move. Let me see how much time did it take. So we got the response in 337 from 23 to 37. It is how much? 14 minutes, I guess. Yes, 14 minutes. Let's see why it took e4. Should we have a Ludo? I mean, it is a game of chance and partly game of chance and partly game of intelligence. Let's see what GPT 5.4 is thinking. So it took the move e4. If d takes e4, then bishop takes e4. Then queen takes e4. Then queen takes d7. Okay. Then queen to d5. Then queen to d5. Then b. Queen to d5. Queen takes d5. Bishop takes d5. Then rook to c5. Okay, a very long thinking. So the thought is that if d takes e4, then bishop takes e4, after which queen will take e4 and this queen will take d7. Then queen will move to d5. Why would queen do that? Why would queen move to d5? Okay, Gemini played its move. It did the capture, exactly what GPT-5 anticipated, I guess. Do you remember when you created Gem? Yeah, I could do that, but the rate limits in, you know, the rate limits that we have in, I mean, in AI Studio. Will the stream active by then or too late? Maybe not. Maybe a yes. Who knows? Not sure though. I can do Gemini 3.1 Pro heavy, but AI Studio rate limits won't allow you to have any requests. I mean, it is severely rate limited. I can do it on a website. I could create a website where you could put in the API key and you would, get Gemini 3.1 Pro heavy. Rook to E1. Yeah, bye. So Rook to E1, that could be the move it plays. But I think it will play bishop to E4. That is what its thinking is saying. How about the bro got married? Yeah, I mean the comments were insane. I think rook to even will not be a very good move because if that's the case, then it can capture either the bishop or the knight, any of the two. So I think the likely move will be d3 to e4. GPT planning for surprise illegal move. So we should be seeing move anytime now. It should not take much time. If bishop to e1, it can play bishop takes bishop. Yeah, if you move the bishop here, then can have the rook, I guess, here. So that if a rook comes here, then if any move is made, if knight or the bishop is taken, then it can actually capture the queen. Okay, it is outstanding for me the fact that GPT 5.4 got a better position. Currently, Stockfish is saying that black has more chance to win for some reason. Guys, have a look at this. Okay, move was made. Rook to e1. Now it can't move the bishop. It has to move it forward. If it moves it forward, then it's not an issue. If it actually plays this, you know, capturing the bishop, then the queen is going to be in danger. Let's see what GPT is thinking. So rook to e1 and then queen to d6. Queen to d6. Bishop takes e4. Then this bishop takes e4. Now you can see Gemini is actually taking its time to respond. Gemini is taking its time. Now it will actually show up its thinking. Now we are going to see the actual thinking and the raw intelligence that Gemini 3.1 is known for. I would move the king. Any aggressive move means game gone for Gemini. But I think the match was very interesting, I guess. Both are playing very, very good. I think we can. Today deleted my files and didn't tell me. Which model are you talking about? Is it Gemini 3.1 Pro or GPT 5.4? Okay, it moved its knight to f6. Let's see why it did that. So knight to f6 and then bishop to b1, then rook a to d8. Okay, directly targeting the queen. So it is saying that if bishop is moved to b1, then it will directly hit the queen. Yes, Opus 4.6 thinking is absolutely awesome. Yes, I mean Gemini took less time in starting, so it was smart actually. Yes, initially it took very less time. Now it's taking its time. In time limit, GPT already lost. I mean, it's, classical chess match is for 3 hours, so if we consider 3 hours, then I think we have 1 more hour left. So Gemini is looking for bringing the rook to a8. That is what it wants to do. But we won't give 3 hours to AI models, right? Yeah, I mean, looking at GPT 5.4, it seems that we may have to give it. GPT 5.4 takes a lot of time to think. Just give me a minute, guys. Stockfish says in this position 90% win for black. Yeah, my stockfish says that black has more chance to win, but it's not 90% as far as I can see. I initially thought I would just do the recording and not have the live stream, but I mean, if you're comparing very fast models, then this should not be an issue. I mean, it's getting recorded, right? I mean, it's a live stream, so it's getting recorded anyways. AI chess leaderboard. By the way, guys, would you like a recorded version of it? You know, the matches. If I do a recorded version of this matches, you should do GPT 5.4 default setting versus Gemini 3 Flash. Both of those make moves every 2-3 seconds then. Yeah. Let's see how much time we have left. 354, right? Okay, we should see a response anytime now. We should see a response. Yeah, Project Genie is awesome. Covering AI news. Yeah, I think I should do that. Previously, I tried it, it didn't work that well, but maybe I should do it. finally made a move. Let me actually see how many tokens were used. 46,618 reasoning tokens. 46,000 tokens, guys. I do wonder why it didn't do bishop to b1. Instead it did bishop to c2, and it anticipated the mook. You know the move that it will move. I mean Gemini will move its rook to d8. It says if rook to d8, then queen to e2. To save the queen. If queen to c7, then knight to d2. Exactly, that is what Gemini did. Gemini didn't think too much. Exactly. I knew a time where models made a lot of illegal moves, but now they are not making at all. I'm not providing any kind of lists. They have to understand the board and do it all by themselves. No, no, I'm here. Yeah, we had those prompts. I think the recent developments in the LLMs, with the scaling of RL, I think the way they respond, the way they talk is improving. It is becoming more personal. Maybe it is because of the RL training they are doing. Yeah, Opus 4.6 is very good, but it's also pricey. Using it, I mean, you use it in Cursor and you will end up your tokens in a single day if you take a Cursor subscription. And if you do API pricing, then it's going to be even more pricier. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Why did it do that? Let me see what Gemini is thinking. Even in the thinking as well, I don't see any response if queen takes a6. Okay, I do see it. Let's see. It says if queen takes a6, then rook takes d2. e4. Yes, GPT is the one. It is taking a lot of tokens. Okay, this move. Bishop takes e4. Then knight takes e4. Then rook takes e4. Then rook takes b2. It seems like you guys are onto something. So is it not a blunder? Moving the bishop to a6. So what Gemini is thinking is, if queen takes a6, then rook to d2, the knight will be gone. Then bishop takes e4, then knight takes e4, then the rook takes e4, then rook to b2. So this is the situation it wants to end in. Maybe this could be one. Yeah, it did just that. Exactly what Gemini kind of said. Not a blunder. Let's see what OpenAI is saying. So queen takes a6. Then even OpenAI is saying that, I mean GPT 5.4 is saying that the rook will move to d2. Then bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, rook takes e4. Okay, now rook has moved to d2. I think next move will be bishop to e4. It finally played the move. Bishop to e4. I think, guys, from next time I'll do a recording because doing it in the live stream when models are taking so much time to respond actually, makes it a bit boring. Things are exactly playing out how Gemini said it would play out. Now the next thing which should happen is the knight should capture the bishop according to the plan of Gemini. So now this is actually interesting. Queen coming to f4. It says if bishop to f3, then rook takes b2. Then if queen to c4, to counteract the queen, then queen takes f2. If queen to c4, Then queen to f. Then king to h1. Then knight takes e4. Queen takes e4. Then rook takes p2. By the way, guys, I have to tell you, these models are playing very good compared to previously. The evals are saying that Gemini might win. Yeah, I mean, their first thing is they are not making any errors, and secondly, they're able to correctly, you know, map out what is going to happen, what they should do, and everything. They are not hallucinating any move. Yeah, this is actually head to head. Okay, now it shows up as almost win for Gemini as per the evals. Gemini to GPT. I mean, have a look at this evaluation from Stockfish. It is just one sided. Okay, knight moves to g4, and we can see Gemini is actually coming close with all its pieces. Circling the king. Now, if I think. Okay, okay, no, no. You could give a check, not a checkmate. I was thinking if queen is moved, if it plays any other move, for example, this, then if queen is moved over here, then it is a check, but not a checkmate because king has one place to go. Knight on g4 is a killer. And the fact that Gemini took comparatively less time is even crazier. Yes, it is a very smart and capable model. Remember, guys, Gemini was taking a. I mean, we all thought that Gemini was taking. It was taking a defensive stance. We thought that Gemini was taking a defensive stance. Now, see where we are. Let's see what it's thinking. Knight to g4. Then g3. If g3, then queen takes f3. So if this move is played, then queen will take the bishop. Next thing is, if bishop takes g4. If bishop takes g4, then queen takes f2. Then king to h1 and queen to g2, checkmate. Okay. I wish Opus was cheaper. Yeah, me too. Even I think that. It is nowadays Gemini versus Claude. But GPT 5.4 is a good model. I have to say that. I mean, it is not getting the limelight, but GPT 5.4 is a good and reliable model. Claude for sure, but not in chess. Great code, a terrible chess player. Guys, I have a question for you. Tell me which model is bigger, Opus 4.6 or Gemini 3.1 Pro? What do you guys think? Which model is bigger? We know both models are big because it takes a lot of price and tokens, and both models are good as well. So both models are big, I guess. Which one is bigger? Yeah, they made it way cheaper. That is nice, but still, it is what it is. I mean, before it was absolutely in the sky. Thinking to use is thinking to use that model was a sin. It's 25 now, but still pricey. Okay, two votes for Gemini and one for Opus. Three for Gemini. Okay, what just happened? I think now it's a checkmate, guys. We are very close to checkmate. I mean, they might be more than a. I do think that Gemini is a bigger model. Personally, way bigger than 800B, I guess, in my opinion. GPT 4.5 is very big, but I think Gemini is a bigger model as well. Because even in Ilias stream, they said that Gemini team has kind of found a way to scale up pre-training. Yes, it is a checkmate. It is very close to checkmate in one move. First time I'm seeing a non OpenAI model win. The match was very intense, to be honest. Yeah, you're right. Actually, when there is no option, then they can resign. Yeah, and as you can see, Gemini 3.1 Pro wins. What an intense match. Absolutely intense. We thought that Gemini was taking a defensive stance, but turns out no. Gemini 3.1 Pro, guys, I have to say, it is a very capable model. I do think it's a very big model because pre-training, improves the model in all aspects. And that is what we see with Gemini 3.1 Pro. Wherever you keep it, wherever you kind of, deploy it or test it, it comes as one of the best.